Now we're going to take a very quick look at the Rode Central software so we can see what kind of DSP processing we have available. First, we select the microphone we're adjusting, then we'll click on Audio Setup. The big focus here is the gain. My current gain is set at 51 dB, and I set this with a meter up, so I know that I can get a bit louder without clipping. That gives me sufficient headroom, and that is how I came up with that number. Next, I will turn on the processing, and this is using the basic or beginner mode. You just have 3 dials: depth, sparkle, and punch. Let me bring all of these down. The app is a little bit laggy on my computer. I have no idea why, but let's go ahead and bring these all down. Let me go ahead and now increase depth 100%. You can hear those low mids really come in and become quite overpowering. Let's roll that all the way back. Then I will increase sparkle if it wants to do that, wants to think, and we'll go ahead and bring that up. You can hear that top end really come in, really get a bit crunchy and a lot more detailed and boosted sounding. Let's roll that all the way back again. And then we will roll up punch, punch, punch as it pauses and thinks again. And we will see where we are. We will continue to roll up punch, punch, punch. There you go. That is with punch all the way up. So let's go ahead and roll this back and try to get back to the default settings. Sparkle was about 60%. Depth, about 60%. That seems about right. Seems about where everything was. Now we're going to get into the fun stuff, and I am going to click on Advanced. This allows us to fine-tune each of these processing steps. The first one we have is our compressor. We have an attack of 0.7 milliseconds, release of 21 milliseconds, ratio of 2:1, threshold of -26, and a makeup gain of 2.2 dB. So you have a lot of room to adjust this to get just the type of compression that you want. I have not done any of that yet. If we jump over to the next effect, we have a noise gate, and we have the ability to adjust the threshold, attack, hold, release, range, hysteresis. I personally don't like burning in noise gates to the recording because they always seem to be a bit too noticeable. So I will go ahead and turn this back off. But if you want to use a noise gate, if it's necessary, you have the ability to really fine tune it, bring down the threshold if your computer doesn't freak out when you try to do it, to just cut out the noise floor and not cut off the words. So you have the ability to do that. Going to the next effect, we have a high pass filter. It is not variable. It is just 60 hertz on or off. I think this is a great frequency, rolls off a lot of the low end rumble, but it doesn't impact the sound of your voice. So really thrilled with the high pass filter. I would always love variable, but at least it's not 90, 100, 160 hertz, a very usable high pass filter. And the last effect that we have is the exciter, and this consists of the big bottom, big bottom, and the aural exciter, or as I call it, the oral exciter. Here is how it sounds without either of those engaged. Here is the big bottom at 63%. Let me shut that off as it freaks my computer out again. I don't know why this app does this. And then here is the aural exciter. The aural exciter. A lot brighter there. With both of them, there you go. Pretty common, pretty popular type of sound. Let's go ahead and shut off the aural exciter and increase the drive of the big bottom to 100% and just see where we can get this to go. How high can you go? You can go up to 312 hertz and sound absolutely abysmal. Bringing it down and it'll freak out my computer. Again, still struggling here. We can go all the way down to 60. So you have quite a range here. 90 hertz, I think that's fine. And a drive of around, I would do 50-ish on the big bottom. On the aural exciter, let's go ahead. We'll go to 100%. That is very crispy. Yikes. As it freaks out my computer, again, we can go up to 5 kilohertz. And what's the lowest we can go? 600 hertz. Yikes, that sounds terrible. Let's go back to 3500, which is where it was at. This is just brutal to listen to. Oh God, I apologize. And we'll bring this back down as my computer freaks out again. This is a brand new computer. This should not be struggling like this. So 60-ish%, big bottom on. Yeah, I think that's going to be a very popular type of setting there. And those are all the effects that you have available at your disposal. That is the DSP processing. Something that I want to point out, if you have fine-tuned all of your plugins and then you click on the advanced setting, this is going to reset all of the parameters. So just make sure you want to actually do that if you click off of advanced, because you lose all the fine-tuning that you did.